Thank you, Christian. I will give you the floor. And fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be...
I am just a technician. But as a technician, during more than half a century, I saw so many irrationality that are very worrying, so that I always try to see the systemic approach. This is why when Michel launched this summit, I am supporter, because he has the right way to use the change we very much need, which is already too late according to some view, my view, but it's never too late to correct the stupidity of society. In a synthesis, and I remind that behind that there are very technical analysis on my own that I don't want to present here because it would take several days, because this is the motor of economic growth. And internally we have something parallel and which is linked, is the inequality in the social sense of the term, most of all income inequality, which is growing at high speed, except in France and Belgium, where it is also growing, but not so fast than in the Anglo-Saxon world, where they are back to the 19th century. The Gini coefficient are creating the roots for a big collapse of Anglo-Saxon civilization, our civilization. And all that is explained by the so-called rent-seeking behavior, which is behind everybody, but especially in the most wealthy and richest people and power. Why? So, for me, technically, I repeat, I don't want to be technical here, but there are behind these very few lines a lot of technical analysis. First of all is the fact that financial yields, RF, financial return of finance, are much higher than productive activity. This is very seen, you could see that in the figure, in the financial figure. Financial yields are more than double the real produce. Second price distortion is the fact that the private return don't take adequately into account the so-called social cohesion. They don't realize that they could make money because up to, I don't know why, people do accept. But populists are behind the corner and they don't accept that. Natural reaction, but with wrong solution, of course. Third, and maybe one of the most important, is the fact that carbon prices are very much lower than its cost. Its financial cost and its cost for society, and even for markets, it is lower, I will show you, because we are making very huge subsidies for burning fossil energy at this moment. I will show you the chart. And the fourth one is more technical, is the fact that our international monetary system, which is based upon national currency, but mainly the dollar, is distorting the financial market at the level of interbank and repurchase market with, it's apparently paradoxical, but the fact that the safe assets in dollar are too scarce. We have not enough safe assets. For a technical reason I have no time to explain here, but those who want explanation through Michel, I could send them more elements. So the vehicle result of that, we could in a synthetic sentence tell that the political democracy is very different from economic democracy. It's something for greening the planet, and the other one, they are putting more money for impeding this to be effective. And fourth, the impossibility with the present international monetary system and the global finance, impossibility to finance decarbonization in the South. I will show you very simply. First, this is the amount in billion of dollars, so trillions, of the total subsidies we are dedicating to burn fossil energy. And among this, which is 7% of world GDP, you realize 7% of GDP, this is enough for eradicating carbon and poverty and ensuring a sustainable development. 7% each year. We are wasting them for burning and producing CO2. And among that, it is even the worst, we are dedicating presently more than 1 trillion, so 1,000 billions of dollars in cash for burning fossil energy. Our leaders are doing that now. And this is not new phenomena, this is very old. The figure here are official figure from the International Monetary Fund. And I never see the media to dedicate or to publish this chart. Why? Why? It's a question. Huh? And I will show you these figures were done by my colleague in Washington with only the already scheduled investment in fossil energy and the subsidy income. But with the war, the Russian aggression, these figures were up and are still up because we are subsidizing fossil energy without targeting to poor people, without targeting. So the most beneficiary of these subsidies are the wealthy. The global, for the world, global growth is now with less than 3% announced. It's not enough for solving decarbonization, poverty, development, because behind that it's very unfair. The repartition of this average is very, the poorest are negatively in growth. If you look in from the 19th century, when war did occur, war occurred always when you close the border, either to labor or to capital, and especially to goods and services. So this is clear after the First World War, and we know what it means, what kind of populism did emerge from that, and now we are here. And this is not just with Trump's stupid policy, it started before, as the excuse was the global financial crisis. But this is not true, this is what was diffused. And my concern is that we are going there with a lot of industrial policies for deglobalizing. This is a trend for the increase in trade volume. From the decade of the last decade, you could see that now we hope to have a positive development of trade of goods, okay? And this is something which is a trend. This is not just a punctual business cycle issue. Wages and all that, and indirect wage cost. And in between, this is the proof of the rent seekers. This is calculating just by adding up the 2,000 most important companies in the world, financial and non-financial. So, the famous decrease in the labor share, which is leading us to populism and to reaction or revolution or whatever, is provoked by our leaders. And even in this blue part, you have the top manager, where the average for the world of top manager is 20 times what it used to be in the 60s. This is part in the blue. So you could imagine why Trump was elected. or Mrs. In Italy, and Le Pen next year. A little bit less than 4,000 billions of dollars for decarbonizing the least developing country. That means that we should invest. For example, according to McCartney, 130 trillions, thousand of billion. That means, in total, summing up, that means 4% of world GDP. We are growing at 3. We need 4. In addition,